Hello everybody, welcome to another blockbuster episode of Books and Banter, your Medina Library's video blog as to what the experts are reading, where wine and words come together in the perfect blend. That wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be. Anywho, it's been a while since I've been behind the camera, so all kinds of things have happened. I was on vacation, I got some reading done. Vintage Ohio, the state's premier wine event took place in early August. All kinds of things happening at the library. We have a new format for our newsletter and our program flyers, so to get our information out to you folks. We're working on social media things, so I'm just going to throw a lot of stuff out there today. First of all, unfortunately, some of my reading, some of my experiences were a little disappointing. I was kind of bummed about the last month of my whole reading experience. So I'm going to start off on a high note. This wine, D66. This is by Orrin Swift, who makes Abstract, Prisoner, some of those really good wines that come in about $25 or so that are pretty well mass produced. This guy comes in much higher. This is my Father's Day wine. It's a Syrah, Grenache, and Carignan blend, which is absolutely outstanding. Unfortunately, I don't have a book to pair with it because it's so good. I have nothing else. I would pair it with one of those, one of our early episodes where we were talking about books that blew us away. Matterhorn by Carl Melantes was one that would pop into that category. I don't have any books to go with it, so I wanted to start off on at least a high note, get that out there because I just couldn't save that one anymore. You have to go to a fine wine store to get it, but anyway. So we'll start with, I guess, the big guy here, Dan Brown's Inferno. I think in the last episode I may have said I was going to get to it. I listened to it on audiobook and just did not like it. It was kind of entertaining at times, and I listened to the whole thing, and it's 14 discs. It came in at 17 hours, so it's not like I was just like sat down and listened to it. I had to put some time and effort into this guy. Three things that pop into my mind about this book. It's an art history book, it's a chase book, and there's red herrings galore. There's so much art history. It's all set in Italy, and that's another thing. I don't really like Italian wine, so I don't even have, the wine pairing with this is going to be like Chianti or a Barbera or a Barolo, and I just don't really like those wines, so that turned me off. I know my wine taste shouldn't interfere with my reading taste, but it did. It's set in pretty much in Italy. It's like I said, it's a chase book. There's a virus. There's this weird organization that's kind of hiding this guy, and it has to do with the World Health Organization, and this guy that's being hid comes up with something, creates something that's going to change the world, and then it's just kind of a chase. Langdon gets involved, Robert Langdon, the hero, if you will, from Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons and all of Langdon's big name, or Dan Brown's big books. He gets involved in it, and he wakes up and he has like this amnesia thing, and from then on it's just like a big chase book through an art museum. You really need like a guide to follow it, and it was just overwhelming. It was too much. And then when you get into kind of the real suspense, and there's all these red herrings, and it's just so almost unbelievable. I just don't know. I really wanted to like it. I really was getting into it at the beginning, but you just get bogged down in those details, the art history details, just way too much. It's way too much for such a long book. At the end, you get some science, some ethics. The ending too. I was just talking to one of my colleagues, Connie, who's been on the show before, who just really loathed it as well, and it just didn't work for me. So Dan Brown is always going to be one of those authors who gets huge publicity. His books are going to sell out. I don't think this is going to make him lose that popularity, but I don't know. I might be done with Dan Brown. Sorry, Dan Brown. I hope you're never going to come on the show because I just ruined that. Disappointment number 2. Real happy show so far. Chevy Stevens, Always Watching. Chevy Stevens' first book. Forget it now. Still Missing. Yeah, Still Missing. When that first came out, very similar to the book Room, which is one of my all-time favorite books, and that it's told from the perspective of a woman that was kidnapped, held in captivity, and how she survived, how she escaped. Very powerful, very dramatic, deep book. And this is her third, and I felt like she's declining a little bit. She may get pushed to that list where I'm not going to maybe read every book that comes out from her anymore, unfortunately, because I really liked Still Missing. I thought it was great. I thought she was going to be a great author. She's still young though, so give her some time. This one focuses on Nadine, who is the psychiatrist who always plays a supporting role in the other books, always talking to the main characters and helping them get through their issues. Chevy Stevens herself has a background in psychiatry, so that's kind of, I think, how she develops her characters. So Nadine starts exploring why she's having all these anxiety attacks, and she's very claustrophobic and everything. And it's because she has a patient come to her that was kind of a runaway from a commune that it turns out that Nadine was also part of as a child. And as the story goes, she starts unwinding, and all these memories come back to her from the commune, and why that's kind of triggered how these anxiety attacks and whatnot she's having as an adult. It's kind of interesting. So she's kind of blocked out all these memories, and then this patient, the other part about it is the commune is still in existence, and the leader of the commune is still out there. So Nadine kind of wants to put a stop to him before he harms other girls, and other kids and whatnot and things like that. So that's where the mystery and the suspense comes from. But it felt like it was too. She had to work for the suspense too much. It was kind of dry. It just drug along a little bit. There wasn't ever that aha moment. There wasn't that exciting moment. The ending for me wasn't real satisfying either. It just kind of droned on for about 380 pages. A little bit long for me too, the type of book that she wrote. So not a huge fan of that one. I would pair this with, I'd pair this with a Pinot Noir. What I have here is a Red Tree, California 2011 Pinot Noir. The reason I'd go with this Pinot Noir is that it's the one that you can pick up for about $7. It's not bad. It's good. You'll get the fruit. You'll get the silkiness. It's not going to be heavy on the tannins and whatnot. It's going to be very easily accessible, easily drinkable. But I'm not going to pair this with a nice Pinot Noir where you get those deeper flavors like the chocolate, even the bacon fat, all that really interesting stuff, because Pinot Noirs don't have those big tannins like I usually enjoy. I got to find something else in them to really pull myself to. So it gets the Red Tree. It's serviceable. It's easily accessible, but I'm not going to really go out in the store and be like, oh yes, I'm getting Red Tree Pinot Noir tonight. It's like, I get $7, Red Tree. Okay, wow, real bummer show. While I'm throwing out there, Vintage Ohio winemakers, I try and support you so much every moment I can, and you just did not come through. The wines were just not good. Maze Winery, a somewhat local one, was by far the best. The other ones, lots of sticky fruit, lots of artificial fruit, lots of kit wines, the kinds that you can make at home. Has that really weird, like instead of oak barrels, you put oak chips in it. That is not good, Ohio. Not good. Bad Vintage Ohio. Just kind of, yeah. Wow, I'm just really having a bummer of an episode. Okay, let's bump it up now. Now I got some good things. I got some true crime, some nonfiction here. Julie, one of our watchers here, asked me to talk about some true crime books, so I found a couple of them. This one, the first one, Lost Girls, Unsolved American Mystery by Robert Kolker. Excellent. This was very, very good. It has to do with the murders that took place in the Oak Beach region of Long Island between 2009 and 2011. I didn't know much about it. I think I had heard little bits and pieces about the case before, but not a whole lot. So that's what the book is about. It's pretty much split into three parts. The first part, you get the background of the girls, the Lost Girls. What it is there's four early 20 girls that are connected to a probable serial murder. There's a fifth girl that may be connected or not, but in searching for the body of this fifth girl, that's how I discovered the other four, as well as there's like 10 or 12 bodies on this little beach, and the rest of them aren't connected. Just really weird, like a really, this is like out of, I don't know, like a horror movie, this little small stretch of beach and all these bodies are found. Very odd. So it's three parts of the book. The first is you get the background of the Lost Girls. When they were kids growing up, all of them came through a very rough life. Lots of moving around, not real strong, parental guidance, things like that. The next part goes into as an adult. And the one thing that they all have in common is they all became escorts, actually on Craigslist, kind of like the new wave of how prostitution is going on, which again I didn't know anything about, and how horrible it is, and how much of a problem this can be, and how these girls are preyed upon. So how they move into their career and their adult life. Most of them had kids, and again, nothing real stable, nothing real great for their adult life. And then the third part is the murder investigation. This is an open case. They have not found the murderer yet. And again, 2011 was when they found the last body, so still fairly recent. This is an active investigation. You go on YouTube or Google, you can find lots of information about this case and the ongoing investigation. One thing interesting about this book is there are no pictures, which for a true crime book I found very odd. There's usually pictures of the victims as kids and as adults, pictures of some of the players, some of the suspects, some of the police involved in it. No pictures, which was really different, but it didn't take away from this book. This was wonderful. I would pair this with a Merlot, and I have one particular. Parducci, 2008, Merlot. This is from Mendocino County. A great place to get a little value, get away from Napa, get away from Sonoma. Probably comes in about $12. A wonderful little Merlot. Why I would pair it with this is Merlots are considered, more feminine, a little bit softer. They don't have this big tannins, and it just kind of resonated with me. These girls that had their lives tragically ripped from them. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that connection, now that I say it, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but go with a Merlot with this guy. So, all right, I think that's enough, just because I had to bomb on some books. I got to put out my big one. I got to show a very good a true crime nonfiction book. I'll throw another one in there for Julia just because she had asked. Another one I started reading, Cocaine Diaries. This is by Paul Keeney with Jeff Farrell. Long story short, I'm not going to finish this book. I started reading it. Wasn't super thrilled with it. Paul Keeney is a British gentleman that decided to become a drug mule for about 10,000 pounds. Went down to Venezuela and he got busted. And then this is his story of being in a very crappy Venezuelan prison. It's kind of amateurish to me. You can tell it's not really. It wasn't picked up by a big publishing company. Got a lot of good reviews. I really don't see quite all the hype. But if you are interested in kind of that. Remember the old show Prison Break? They were in some type of I think South Central American awful prison for drug users and whatnot, drug dealers. I guess this gives you some insight into those horrible conditions. So there you go. All right, that's it. Look me up on Facebook, Books_Banter Guy. I'm sorry, that's on Twitter. You can look up the Facebook page on the library. We usually have a link there for all kinds of good stuff. And that's it. Email me too. So we will see you around the stacks.